Hi, I'm Ted Cook with Really Cheap Floors, and today we're excited. We're going to share with you a video here about the differences between the three grades of hardwood flooring, the solid hardwood flooring that we offer. This particular floor, all three colors all three samples are of the color sable. What difference does it make what color it is? Well, that's something you'll see as we go through here. The colors and affect the grades a great deal, okay? Starting this first one, this is a first quality, or the first quality product. This is a Somerset product called Oak Plank. When you look at this floor, you can see there's very little color variation, with the exception of that one board there and a couple of knots, which I think if I was doing it, I might throw those out, or certainly put them in a closet. This is a super clean floor. That's what you get when you're buying first quality. You get extremely long board lengths. You get very little contrast between boards. In the stain colors, that's even more the case. Now, when we come to the builder grade, you'll see right away, hey, it still has long boards, and it still doesn't have a lot of color contrast. That's part of what excites us about the builder grade. Our builder grade, we feel like, is cleaner than a lot of companies' first quality. And when you look at this open box, I think you'll agree. Now, it does have some knot in it. We'll see right here, there's some season check. Here's a little more season check that, that can be up to about 1 inch in length. A little bit of natural defect is allowed in the builder grade, but no manufacturing defect, okay? Then we come over to the cabin grade. Now here's where it gets a little bit wild. Anything goes. You're going to immediately notice lots of short boards. Now, you only notice the short boards in the stain colors when you really study them. You know, when we get over to some of the natural colors where there's a lot of contrast between each board, we notice that there's a lot more boards. But here in these stain colors, the darker the stain, the less you're going to notice the short boards, okay? And when we can consider we can buy this floor for close to $2, the builder grade's going to be about $1 up, first quality's up around $5. You can see there's a lot of value in the cabin grade. Is it perfect for every house? Absolutely not. None of these are perfect for every house. And that's why we want to help you to better understand what to expect in the boxes so that you can make the choice of what's perfect for your house. Let's move now to the gun stock in the antique. When we look at the first quality, just like with the sable, we're seeing big long boards, not a lot of color contrast. There are a few knots in that, but all the knots will be tight and smooth. There's no defect. In our antique collection, it can have knots. It's meant to be a little bit more of a character type product. Now, when we come over to the builder grade here, we start to see a little more color. We see some mineral stain. That mineral is caused by mineral leaching up from the soil, and it comes up into the tree. Kind of interesting. And you'll see mineral here, here, here. Here's a little bit of mineral. None of that, of course, is a defect unless you want to consider it a natural defect. In the wood business, it's not so much that wood has to be defective as that it's off grade. When we're talking about a select and better product, there are definitions in place that tell what's allowed and what's not. Somerset's highest grade, their first quality, is a really clean product. So that does allow the builder grade to still be a high quality product, but just filled with more boards that didn't make that cut in the first quality. Then we come into cabin. Now we're seeing lots more defect. We're seeing some big season check. We're seeing some knots that didn't fill completely. Here's some more. Here's a knot that didn't fill. Lots of little defects, lots of short boards. Wormholes are a common occurrence, as you see here. Those little pinholes, you'll see a lot of those in cabin. There's a bigger check with a knot. Each board was put into this cabin grade for a reason, okay? Don't think that you're going to be able to buy cabin and throw away 20% of it and make a builder grade floor. It's not like that. Everything in the cabin grade box is cabin grade product, okay? If you want a floor that's cleaner than the cabin, buy a different floor. Don't expect to clean it up, okay? And we tell you that because we want you to be happy. We want you to be happy at the end, okay? When you put your floor down, we want you to be happy with what you've done. We want you to be happy with the money that you spent, okay? So really, we need you to know as much as possible up front. Now let's go over here to this Red Oak Natural. Now this is where the rubber hits the road, okay? You can see in this builder grade that it does have several knots in it. Again, this is the antique. It's allowed to have some knots. But you've got very long boards and very little color contrast between the boards, as opposed to the builder grade, where again, we've got some more mineral. We've got heartwood versus sapwood. We've got boards that are, have different colors on the same board. You won't see that in the first quality, okay? Board length will still be very similar. Then we get over to the cabin. Now, again, this is where things get very different. You'll see the boards, you can tell they're quite short here. You'll also see there's a lot of these machine burns, okay? Planer marks. There's a lot of those on this product. I see probably 20 just in this one box. Can't. I mean, if you want to take half of them and put them in different rooms, you can, but it's going to be an awful lot of work. Occasionally we'll have a customer that says, hey, I'm going to buy some extra and grade it out. No, you're not. You're not going to grade that out, okay? Again, don't try. If you want something cleaner than this, it's right over here. Okay, now we're going to talk about the wild child in the family, the Hickory Natural, okay? Now, Hickory is known for having a great deal of color, a lot of contrast. The heartwood and sapwood in Hickory have very different looks, okay? So we look at this floor. We see the heartwood here, it's dark. Right beside it, a much lighter board. Over here, we have pale boards. Now, this is the first quality, and what you're going to see here, of course, you're going to see the long boards, but you will see that the color almost always goes from one side of the board to the other. We don't get the streaks in a first quality floor that we will in builder and cabin, okay? We also don't get the extreme dark boards. We don't get any dark browns or black boards. We don't see knots in the first quality. So the color variation, while there's quite a bit of contrast here, it's a much softer tone than the builder and the cabin, okay? When we jump over to the builder, immediately we see more of the mineral. We see knots. We see some big streaks. What we won't see here is much in the way of manufacturing defects. Yeah, we can see some knots, a little bit of grain tear occasionally, something like that. But as a general rule, the builder grade is still a high graded floor. It just allows more color, okay? Then we get over to cabin. And again, anything can go in cabin grade. We're going to see a lot of short boards. We're going to see a lot of planer marks or machine burns. But something else we see in Hickory cabin that we don't see in the others is this black fill, okay? What happens is when that board was unfinished and it had that knot in it, the part of the process is they stick a black putty on that floor. They run it through a dryer and then it goes through a sander, and the sander is supposed to cut all of that. Maybe it shaves 5/1000ths off, okay? It's supposed to cut a little sawdust off as well as the excess putty. And when you see a knot like this one over here in Builder, that had putty on it at one time, but the sander got it, so it left it just looking like a knot, okay? But when we come over to the cabin grade and we look and we see these black places, that's where the putty did not all get sanded off. They're kind of noticeable. No, they're really noticeable, and they're kind of ugly, to be honest with you. But they are common in this cabin grade. So I hope what we've done here is allow you to better understand what you may see in a box. We discovered a secret here at our business many years ago that I'd like to share with you. The secret is how we have happy customers. The way we have happy customers is to make sure that the reality meets or exceeds our customers' expectations, okay? It's very important that we represent to you the reality of what's in these boxes. Whether it's cabin, first quality builder, it doesn't matter. We need to honestly represent those to you. also, we need to make sure your expectations are in line with what's possible, okay? That's what we want. We want happy customers. Happy customers buy again. Happy customers tell their friends. Happy customers leave great reviews. That's what we want. Hey, if we can be any help to you, if you'd like to see a sample, if you want to talk more about this, please pick up the phone and give us a call. We'd love to help you.